to the start of a new NBA season on 2K Sport. We've got an Easter from their Bulls with Smith, and it's Love in at the power.
For J.R. Smith to post some of the better numbers of his career, helping prove that for a tumultuous.
Gasol, team footer, and the basket good. A bank shot that time.
Just couldn't get a hand in the face on that one.
That's using what you got. He's got a height advantage, put it to good use there, and got himself a clean look.
Now, here is Irving. Smith outside. James kicks to Love. Toronto working the ball around now. The shot no good. Some solid defense from Rose. To the inside. Gibson. And he takes the feed in stride and slams it home.
And very little fight put up by the defense as he made his way to the bucket for the jam.
They did seem to take the cautious approach, Greg, when it came to defending that one. You're right.
And, guys, it's not the time for caution now. I mean, they've got to be aggressive and take some risks to see if they can cut that lead down.
Now Rose following the miss by J.R. Smith from deep.
Not sure what the D was doing there. Clearly a breakdown. You can ill afford to give a guy like him that good a look.
And that's out of bounds. Toronto will retain possession.
Embarrassment, man.
To halt the run.
In building this lead, they've done a terrific job finishing their defensive sequences with the backboard. That has been key.
Yeah, you're right, Greg. Not one second chance bucket for the opposition. They're boxing out on every shot.
And how about the interior defense here early on? They have really shut down the middle.
And that's always your first priority defensively, Greg, and I think they're doing a nice job.
Here's Gasol. The shot by Butler, nobody around. Good, and the assist goes to Gasol. Butler's got 5 now.
Boy, they've gone on this run, and ball movement has been a big key.
It really has, Clark. The defense unable to react as quickly as necessary in terms of dealing with their passing.
Now here's Love. Outside Irving. Clock at 6. Lets it fly. And he gets that one to go off the front iron. Smith's got his second basket of the night.
J.R. Smith. Boy, he's mercurial, but he is something to behold when he's knocking down shots like that.
Here's Gasol, and there's a nice one-handed slam.
A splendid pass that time by Rose.
Toronto trails by 7.
I tell you what, he has quite the act to follow, but Fred Hoiberg was a quick choice for the brass in Chicago. Signed that 5-year deal over the summer. Was easily one of the most in-demand coaches available.
Played in with a nice touch off the glass. Rose has got his first 2 points of the night.
They've wasted no time settling into their offense.
Yeah, they're lasered in. I mean, really making the most of their possessions.
Irving kicks to Smith. Fires for 3. And Irving with the basket on the assist by Smith. Well, Greg, for Hoiberg, it's his first job as an NBA head coach. Now, we know he played. He's been a part of an NBA front office. Clark, he came from Iowa State, where he honed his coaching skills and was highly respected.
Yeah, very much respected, particularly as an offensive coach. And we know the Bulls are pretty solid defensively, and he'll be looking to ramp up that offensive approach for that team, and I think he will.
Now, here's Rose, following the miss by Kyrie Irving. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
We're really impressed with the way Jimmy Butler last season made big strides in his game, going from a supporting role player to someone you can build your team around.
Here's what Chicago's going with right now. Joakim Noah's checked in for Gasol. Portis comes in for Taj Gibson. Mirotic is checked in for McDermott. And Moore subbed in for Rose. And Toronto will go for a different look here. Mozgov, he's checked in for Tristan Thompson. Fry comes in for Kevin Love. Amon Shumpert's checked in for Smith. And it's Matthew Dellavedova in for Irving. And here is Moore
complicated names
after the three-pointer from Amon Shumpert. Off the pick. Look at that.
I saw that replay.
Power surge that one down.
Wow. Good term to use. One of the game's top dunkers for sure.
Folks, that's not a petty, not a Manny. That's a facial.
Don't laugh at that. That's funny.
And the highlight on that Kia slam assist by Butler. Moore's got his. LeBron passes to Fry. From the top of the key, he buries it.
Boy, you got to love that assist by LeBron.
The Bulls have gone 8 of 10 shooting, coming out very strong. Shumpert against Butler. Pass to Noah. Ball's knocked loose and stolen by James. To the middle, and he jams it with authority.
And that's the classic 1-2 punch right there. I mean, nice steal. And then how about the elevation, Kevin, on the finish?
And Greg, nothing spurs some quick offense like a great play defensively.
That indicates the importance of great on-the-ball defense, as was displayed right there.
That's his first personal foul.
Toronto on defense, trailing by 2, and it's Butler missing.
Rebounding is going to be the focal point for them in this one, fellas. I can feel it.
It always is, and it has been so far, and they've gotten a nice edge on the glass.
He dishes it to Moore. Noah the screen. Here's Mirotic. And again, Chicago. No good. He gets it up. No good on the buzzer beater. Plenty of offense in this closely contested first quarter of play.
It's crunch time.
Bulls lead by 2. And the second quarter about to get started. We'll be back in just a moment.
Yeah, crunch time.
We caught up with Kyrie Irving earlier, and he talked a little bit about expectations for himself and his teammates.
Still crunch time.
We expect so much out of each other every single night, and you know the team is going to go.
Kyrie reminding us that it's not just the expectations of the fans and the media he and LeBron deal with, but also, and Clark, perhaps the most demanding of all, are the expectations they've got for each other.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, two guys who expect so much of themselves to start with, who naturally have a vision of how great the other guy should be. I mean, they're constantly trying to manage expectations while still demanding the best from each other. And that's a lot of fun to watch.
Well, it's been a tight one so far as we get the second quarter going back here. Looking at what we've seen from the Bulls, what do you guys think?
They come out the gates here strong and put together just a solid first quarter.
A ton of good looks for him, Greg, on offense, and it's quality shots they're getting.
Bow.
Gibson is the 4 with Gasol at the 5. Each-One Moore is out there with Rose. And it's McDermott in at the 3 spot. That's the Bulls 5 as we get into the second quarter.
You know, the Cavs had a slow start to last season compared to how everybody thought they would play. Still, it was the best start for Kevin Love in his career and would end up being the most winning team he's played on. So there's something about how long he's waited for success.
Well, go out.
Chicago.
Hold up. Pause. Replay. Let me see this. Dow. Challenging that song after I figure out how to challenge plays.
Gains possession.
That is just a careless turnover. You've got to be smarter in those exchanges.
Chicago leading. And Love, who would also go on to make his first postseason appearance, played in the first round last year. It was a complete 180 for him in what he was used to at Minnesota.
And even though there were ups and downs for Love last season, you know that he must have enjoyed winning for a change. And being in the league so long without making the playoffs, he finally got a chance to play in the postseason.
All part of the
And for
plan.
Kevin Love, such a big part of that Minnesota Timberwolves franchise. I mean, they drafted him 5th overall back in '08, and really he had been their catalyst his entire career. Even last year when he decided he finally wanted out, he helped the Wolves land Andrew Wiggins in the trade that shook the league.
Boy, I tell you what, he does not look like your typical big man up there at the line. He has an excellent stroke and a percentage to match. How about that? Breaking out the Statue of Liberty on that dunk.
A nice way to pad that lead a little more.
Yes, indeed.
So, timeout called here, the first for Toronto. Well, Kevin Love, and we've kind of gone over some things in Minnesota with Greg, but Clark, Kevin Love probably wasn't long for the Timberwolves.
Yeah, it was time for fresh scenery, and that's why the Cavs offered up the house, including Wiggins, who eventually became Rookie of the Year for the chance to get Love.
I don't know why I did that.
He hit a 3 in the first, but so far has been unable to capitalize here in this quarter.
Here's Gibson. Yes, and it's Rose with the assist that time. Rose has got his 3rd assist on the night. Toronto trails by 7. Outside Irving takes the 3. And again, no good by Toronto. The Bulls have gotten 4 of their first 5 shots to fall in the second.
Nope. Hold up. This thing gonna take forever, ain't it? Yup. I already know the answer. Give about a good next 5 minutes. I'm fine. Wow. Let me see who's watching real quick. This guy.
Outstanding shooter.
And what a beautiful way to polish off that sequence. Just strong at attacking the rim.
That just puts a little more momentum on their side, don't you think?
Absolutely.
The defense got to tighten up now. I mean, you can't have the opposing point guard throwing down on you like that.
And it's Moore penetrating. And the lead now, double digits on that bucket. Moore's got his 2nd bucket of the night.
Every time they get scored on during this run, it's come from inside the paint.
Yeah, they have really owned the interior. You've got to collapse that defense and force them to beat you over the top.
Boy, Kevin, what a sweet stroke from LeBron that trip.
Oh,
Chicago with the ball. They're on a 13-4 run. Moore dishes to Rose. Tipped away and stolen by Kyrie Irving. Here we go, James heading to the hoop. Irving with a clean look. They get the rebound.
Unfortunately, that's been the result for him over and over, guys. He just cannot find the bottom of the basket.
And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
And you don't ever want to get into the habit of letting the offense get to the rim.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, that's the message they were sending with that foul. Nothing easy inside.
Joakim Noah, he's checked in for Chicago. Butler comes in for Etuan Moore. Channing Frye's checked in for Toronto. Matthew Dellavedova comes in for James. On its way from Irving for 2. Again, Irving missing. Here's Chicago. They're on a 14-4 run. Oh, and the jam.
No, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to my home game. Because I'm solid at away games. I've restarted my season and everything. I ain't gonna show you the setup right here.
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Greetings, NBA fans. Welcome to 2K Sports. I'm your host, Ernie Johnson, and seated beside me, Kenny the Jet Smith, and the Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal. And coming right up, we'll see this home squad playing against the Miami Heat. Looking at Miami, they got their season rolling with a nice win in their first game. Now we'll find out if they can build on it and open with back-to-back victories. Well, last year the Heat went from a team that could...
I tried to say OVO. And what that's playing. Bow. Right, here it go.
Starting at shooting guard. At 6 foot 6 inches, number 5, J.R. Smith. Man in the middle, at 6 foot 9 inches, number 13, Tristan Thompson. At power forward, 6 feet 10 inches, number 0, Kevin Love. The other guard, at 6 foot 3 inches, number 2, Kyrie Irving. The other forward position, standing 6 foot 8, number 23, LeBron James. The head coach of your home team. Ladies and gentlemen,
Welcome, fans. Thanks for joining us for this Friday night edition of the NBA on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Love, joined by my colleagues Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. It's the Miami Heat taking on Toronto. And the injury to Dwayne Wade, this is really big news.
Well, since the last game when we saw him leave with that injury, the news appears to have gone from bad to worse, guys, and that's terribly disheartening. The speed of that young player, man, we're going to miss that, and he could be out a long time.
Yeah, and certainly not the news he nor his teammates were hoping for. But he'll just have to rededicate himself to the rehab process, and hopefully he can come back better than ever.
Now a chance, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. The starting 5 on the floor. On the court for the Heat, the big men are Bosh and Whiteside. Richardson is out there with Dragic, and it's Dang in at the 3 spot.
Just some amazing stats put up by Chris Bosh early in his career, but having been in the shadow of LeBron and D. Wade over the past few seasons, one wonders if Bosh is now a little bit underrated. He's talented and gives you everything you want from the power forward spot.
Another miss by Dang. On defense, the Heat, it's a 3-point game. They defeated Charlotte in their last game.
Proficient in that game at the offensive end of the floor. I mean, their passing was dynamic and their shot selection was superb.
You do those two things hand in hand, Greg, you know the result. You move the ball like they did and take smart lift shots, you're coming away with a lot of wins.
For Toronto, they've gone 0 of 3 from the field to start the game. Here's James.
From the tricks up his sleeve.
Against James.
He's not getting away.
Bosch, the screen.
He almost got away.
And dang, here we go. And that's collected by Love. For Toronto, they come in off the loss to the Grizzlies of Memphis.
Yeah, I had the chills watching that. It really was a nightmare defensively for them when you go into that building and get punished by some very hot shooting.
They didn't challenge the shooters. They didn't defend the shooters like they should have. And once the fans got into it and the arena started ramping up and cranking up, it was over.
And here's Dragic following the three-pointer by Kyrie Irving. And here's the fast break. Love leading the way. And again, Toronto with the triple.
Well, the first thought from the D there was to protect the rim, so good idea to take the three in transition.
Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
Kevin, I was able to speak with Eric Spoelstra for a moment. He said that the key to the game will be how well they defend Kyrie Irving, adding he's shown himself to be one of the premier point guards in the game already. Whether it's passing, shooting, or penetrating, we need our guys in the backcourt to really get up into him, and our bigs need to be ready to bring help. Guys, you can bet that Irving will be their focus defensively.
And thank you, Doris.
Boy, I really love the way Dragic spreads that ball around.
Toronto's gone 2 or 3 from deep so far in this game. Irving against Dragic. It's stolen by Dragic. In transition, here comes Miami. Dragic has got the ball. Right side, good.
Oh, and look at how well he led him in there. Really, he passed him open for that deuce.
LeBron, left side. Smith, the pass to James. And here's Love from the arc. Yes, and it's LeBron picking up the assist. And it's 6 points for Kevin Love. The Heat have gone 5 of 8 from the field, shooting over 62%.
And the Miami Heat have finished in the top 2 spots or better in each of the years the Big Three were in town. Last season that changed as they would end up 10th in that Eastern Conference. Oh, great production on the interior right now. 8 straight from inside.
Buffalo bully ball right there, partner.
Okay. Getting a little physical. I like that. I like that reference.
And for the Heat, once the bullies of the Eastern Conference, they had a lot of trouble keeping up with other Eastern Conference teams.
Kevin, they finished 25 and 27 against the rest of the conference. Played under 500 against the East at home, which really negated their chances for the playoffs.
Here's what Toronto's going with right now. Channing Frye's checked in for Thompson. And it's Matthew Dellavedova in for Kyrie Irving. The Heat also with the sub. Amari Stoudemire. He's checked in for Whiteside. Now here's Dang. 14 points from him the last game against Charlotte.
And he came off that screen, and the D just didn't get over the top of it.
Yep, weren't there in time enough to challenge Greg. And when that's the case, you can mark those up for him.
For 3, Love. Again, Love missing. The Heat leading by 5. It's 3-on-3 on the fast break. Dragic with a wide open look. Off the mark there with the three-point shot. In Toronto, they've gone 4 of 10 shooting the ball here in the first quarter. And LeBron throws it down.
No doubt that is within his range.
Well, I would hope so. He's a pro, and it was only a 1-footer. Come on now.
Damn, bro, you had throw shade.
1:06 left to play here in the first.
First time.
Dragic kicks to Dang. Here's Richardson. And it's Toronto with the rebound.
Just tentative in the paint, lacking a little bit of confidence, allowed the defender to recover and contest that shot. Well, I think it's been said about 1,000 times now how Coach Spoelstra started as a video coordinator with the Heat, but he's been with the organization for so long, they are starting to become synonymous.
I think, as you said, Spoelstra has been with the Heat for so long now in his 8th season. He was handpicked by Pat Riley to lead the team, and Clark kind of molded him in his image.
And it was clear that Pat Riley believes in him and continues to believe in him. Coach Spoelstra has had very high expectations on his shoulders ever since taking over the team, and he's actually lived up to them.
Smith's shot is good. We've got 33 seconds left here in the first quarter.
That's how we're safeties from the free.
Now Dragic, a 29-point game for him in the win against Charlotte.
But what stood out for me was his gorgeous playmaking out there. I mean, over and over, he was finding his teammates in a great position to score.
Bow. Bow.
Here's Dellavedova. He's guarded by Dragic. And here's Winslow. Against Charlotte, he was really on his game. Johnson gets the bucket.
And back and forth we go. That bucket gives us another lead change.
Too many of those to count. These teams have matched each other shot for shot,
Buzzer beater.
play for play. It has been impressive.
And at the end of one, both teams
Man,
put
I
up
wish
some
that was the
points.
fourth quarter right there.
Toronto leads by only 1. And we'll be back in just a moment with the start of the second quarter. And of course, as we've always seen with LeBron James, it's not just about the numbers, but his tremendous leadership.
Drop the camera after saying that.
Well, that there is straight talk from a man who does not pretend. LeBron James is a textbook example of how to take responsibility and lead.
And Kevin, that's why he is the king. He doesn't say, hey, I'm just one of the 5 guys. No, he knows who he is and what he has to do. Bottom line, he's the man. You fly on my shoulders, and I'm going to take you to the promised land.
Look at 3.
Welcome back, folks. We have a close game here at the start of the second quarter of play. And what do you guys think so far about the offensive approach for Toronto?
Boy, the three-point shot has really been dropping for him early on.
Okay.
And also, guys, the passing has been terrific in the first half.
Mr.
They'll be
4
happy
eyes over there
with all those assists.
Kevin Love out there with LeBron James. Then there's J.R. Smith. Then it's Kyrie Irving. And it's Thompson in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. That's the group for Toronto to start the second quarter.
And it's not often that one of your enforcers is also one of your best three-point shooters, but such is the case with J.R. Smith. Everywhere he's gone, he's played both roles, sometimes to the team's benefit, but others to its detriment.
Johnson against Smith. And that one goes long. Toronto's gone 1 of 2 on three-pointers here in the second quarter so far. In the corner, it's James. And again, Toronto no luck. The Heat have gone 2 of 4 shooting the ball here in the second. Johnson dishes to Dragic. Feeds to Stoudemire. Winslow wide open.
Make that.
He fires. And it's off target. Not sure why he took that one. For Toronto, they've gotten only one of their first 4 shots in the second quarter to drop. Smith with it, and it's Johnson picking him up. Irving for 3. And again,
I can't make no threes no more.
He hit a 3 in the first, but so far has been unable to capitalize here in this quarter.
Johnson sends the screen for Dragic. Kicks it out to Johnson. And the go-ahead bucket, no good.
Now, nice work there to contest the finish inside.
You know, they got the shot they wanted, but his defense, deterred them from those plays.
That's a dozen straight points coming off the triple.
Yeah, Greg, you know, they're having free reign from beyond the arc. The defense is just not there.
What? You know what? I ain't
Miami
mad.
calls their first time out of the game. LeBron James, by many surveys, and no surprise here, GA, the most popular athlete in America.
I mean, the highest paid player in the league. And you know what? He deserves it. This guy has really carried the mantra as the face of our game, as well as anybody. And I tell you what, people now are starting to acknowledge the guy also delivers when it matters. And how about the execution on that play? The screen was set up in exactly the right spot.
And the finish wasn't too bad either.
Perfectly designed and perfectly executed.
And now Doris Burke has an update from the sidelines.
Guys, over that last break, I listened to Eric Spoelstra address his team. He wants them running a disciplined, organized offense with an emphasis on setting screens and creating open shots on the floor for their shooters. He also wants them to concentrate on working as a team at the offensive end. Passing, patience, and teamwork. Those were the messages. Guys, they're clearly hoping those changes have an effect even before this game makes it to halftime. Kevin?
Great. Thanks for the report, Doris.
And you know, for LeBron, he's blazed a trail as far as his business empire is concerned. He gave his childhood friends a chance to manage his affairs. Many thought it was a huge mistake, but he's doing quite well with the guys that he chose.
Irving from long range. And again, Toronto with the triple.
And how about the last 5 made shots have all been threes. The defense is just giving up a barrage.
Most teams get the message to cover shooters after 1 or 2 wide open looks at the three-point shot, but it seems like they have just not figured it out.
And for LeBron, he said he'd like to be a billionaire. It's his ambition to have an influence that goes beyond the game. And guys, he is certainly on his way.
Out to Shumpert, takes a 3. Offensive rebound. For Miami, they've gotten exactly half their shots to go down here in the second, 5 of 10. Whiteside, the pass to Day. Johnson outside. Dishes it to Bosh. That's in there. Johnson with the assist. Now it's a 4-point Heat lead.
Yeah, it's such a sweet three-point stroke there, and it can really open things up inside because as good as he shoots it, it forces the opposing bigs to have to step out on the perimeter.
So timeout called here, the first for Toronto.
You know, he just like every other coach can't stand when the defense gives up points on the inside, and boy, are they struggling in there.
Yeah, well, they're getting pummeled in there, so you've got to figure out a way to make some adjustments to try to change that around, and that's why he needed the timeout.
Smith checked in for Shumpert. Toronto's gone for the three-pointer 7 times here in the second and been successful 3 times.
Okay.
A nice shot by Irving.
They're going back to the three-point shot over and over and over.
And they may have found the Achilles heel of this defense. That was their 9th straight point from beyond the arc.
Took advantage of some shoddy defense there. They've got to at least get a finger on it.
LeBron James on the wing. That shot off the rim.
You could tell he assumed he'd be able to beat the defensive coverage even though it was all over.
Dang gets a wide open look. Can't get it to go. Now Toronto takes it the other way. This series.
Hold up. I gotta see that again. Come on. Bow. Bow. He went behind the back on dude. Boy, they felt that
was an even split.
Yeah, guys, they feel like they're the better team. The standings would agree with that. I look for them to assert that with their play tonight.
The drive by Bosh and fouled hard that time.
Oh, they fouled on dude.
Well, scary
he asked for a high five.
Last year had to be shut down. Greg, as we all know, for the season after a blood clot was found in his lung.
You know, and Kevin,
he fouled on then he got hit the ball.
Perspective. I mean, it happened right after the trade deadline, and obviously a huge blow to the Heat in terms of their push for the postseason. But fortunately, it looks like he's going to make a full recovery and have a huge impact this season.
And so Bosh nails both of them.
You know, the Heat never really came back after losing Bosh. His presence on both ends of the floor is hard to replace, and they missed him a bunch. His touch has disappeared on him this quarter. He just hasn't been able to get it going.
On the wing, Dang. Wide open look. And Irving pulls it down.
Hey guys, I know I speak for everybody. Glad to see Chris Bosh back out on the floor. I mean, blood clots can be a very scary thing for anyone. And I think everyone is happy he's been able to make a full recovery.
Johnson kicks to Bosh. Miami no good on that time either.
That's not a sight you see very often. I mean, he has a great feel for that jump shot, especially when he's open.
Well, guys, this first half has been about as tightly contested as you could hope for.
Well, neck and neck, how about that? I mean, ferociously competitive. I mean, tight as me in an airplane bathroom.
That's not the visual I was looking for right now, but there have been a lot of lead changes. My goodness.
Miami shooting their 4th and 5th shots at the foul line in the game.
Yeah, last year, collectively, only 74% from the line.
And it's something they know that if they improve, can really have a big impact on their success.
Toronto will go for a different look here. Mozgov, he's checked in for Thompson. Fry comes in for Kevin Love. Shumpert is checked in for James. And it's Matthew Dellavedova in for Kyrie Irving. And then for Miami, Amare Stoudemire is checked in for Whiteside. Johnson comes in for Chris Bosh. And Winslow subbed in for Luol Deng.
And this should be the last possession of the quarter.
Exactly. I'm right with you there, Greg. I mean, no need to give the ball back before the end of the quarter. Make sure you get the last shot here.
Here's Stoudemire. That's in there. Johnson with the assist. 6 points for Amari Stoudemire.
The number of points they've scored in the paint already today is pretty eye-opening.
It really is.
Man, I thought I made that for a split second.
Job of closing those lanes to the hoop.
And a pretty tightly contested game here.
Well, I'm with Eric Spoelstra.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Oh yeah, they ain't gonna let me skip this right now.
Hello again, everybody. Ernie Johnson here, joined by Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. We welcome you to the halftime show on 2K Sports. It was a closely contested first quarter for Miami. Some good action during the period, as it was just a one-point game at the end of one. The second quarter was a strong effort for them as they continued to battle, and they were able to close out the half in a good position. Kenny, let's start with you. What'd you think about the Heat?
Well, they're playing some unselfish basketball here tonight, Ernie. Guys aren't trying to take the defense 1-on-5. They're moving the basketball and finding the open man. And then, of course, the open man is finishing, so no problem here tonight.
And, big fella, let's get your thoughts on the home team.
I like to see them create more points in the paint. The problem now is that defenses can sag in, take away angles for entry passes, quickly double. So you got to be creative. Inside screens, back cuts, drive and dish. You need to do whatever it takes to get the guy open.
And that's it for halftime, as the second half is just about to get underway. See you after the game.
Well, anyway.
And now the start of the second half. Neither side jumping out ahead through the first two quarters. Look at LeBron James. He's really been playing well.
Yeah, you know, one of the things about the truly greats of our game is that sometimes you get spoiled because of how consistent they can be. And so far, another big scoring night for him.
And oftentimes when he puts up that many points in the first half, he follows it up with an even better second half. We'll see if that's the case here.
Here's who Eric Spoelstra is starting the second half with. Dang and Bosch, your small and power forwards. Dragic is out there with Richardson. And it's Whiteside in at the 5. Smith outside to the right side. Love wide open. He fires. And he can't answer back. The three-pointer offline.
You know, he just hasn't looked right to me. A bit out of sorts, if you will. Something's off with his mechanics. At least as I look at it.
And guys, isn't it great to see a player who works that hard on the glass at both ends?
Well said, G. That's the way he has built, you know, his reputation. Clark grinding away 100% effort all the time.
And you know, Kevin, all that effort pays off. How many of those spectacular putback jams do we see from this guy? A bunch.
Miami leading by 3. Kicks to Whiteside. Soft touch off the glass. Whiteside's got 10 points in the game.
Well, they certainly didn't have much of a problem getting the ball into the post that time.
Yeah, and that's important because this game may ultimately come down to which team controls the paint in crunch time. And they're 1 of 4 here to start the second half.
Crunch time was all that.
Well, last season would be one where Kevin Love played a different role, saw his numbers decline. But that was, I think, especially with LeBron and Kyrie, much better players than he ever had in Minnesota. That was to be expected.
It's a great point, Kevin. And Love dropped about 10 points per game.
But they was with the ball or something.
The field goal percentage as well as
I didn't call
three-point percentage was down. But still, he traded it all to be on a winning team. And I really feel like his numbers will start to go up as he makes the adjustment to playing with great players.
Good point. Toronto shooting their 3rd and 4th free throw attempts of the game.
And as a group, they shot 75% from the line last season.
Matthew Dellavedova has checked in for Smith.
And, you know, for Love last season, we knew he'd be in a supporting role to LeBron. You put any player next to LeBron, and he automatically becomes some kind of role player.
And thinking back to Love and his numbers last year, we saw the same thing from Bosch when he played with LeBron. Love and Bosch had similar reductions in scoring, but both were still great players, and they both have the ability to adapt and impact the game in other ways.
Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
Guys, over that last break, I listened to Eric Spoelstra address his team. He made sure that everyone was on the same page and that the offense needed to run through Whiteside. Coach reminded his guys that he is the centerpiece of their offense, and he's the one they want with the most freedom to operate. Perhaps the rest of the second half will look different after those adjustments, Kevin.
Thank you, Doris. And Hassan Whiteside of Miami had the breakout year of all breakout years. Clark, he blew up in the right way last season. Averaged a double-double over 48 games.
Yeah, and great to see for Whiteside because he did have some issues prior to the breakout year. And it's nice to see him find his stride and produce with that awesome talent he had.
And Toronto has possession. They trail by 3, and they're off to Philadelphia after this game as they'll take on the 76ers. That will be a getaway game for them, a one-game road trip.
Went for the two-hander on that slam. That's where the weight room comes into play, Kevin.
I think some urgency from him there.
Man, I think he's sensing that this is a critical time in the game, fellas.
Dragic gets the bucket.
And talking about Whiteside, he isn't completely out of the woods yet. I mean, after a couple of ejections last season, his teammates publicly condemned his actions. They questioned his maturity, challenged him to be more reliable, and for the most part, he was after those incidents.
And you know, the thing about Whiteside, guys, when he's right, he's an unbelievable game changer. Second in the league in block shots last season. Also posted the second-best field goal percentage. The guy can play. He keeps his head squarely on his head.
Man.
Boy, last season, Hassan Whiteside made a huge splash in the NBA. Big blocks, big rebound totals. But he had some head-scratching moments as well. Missed his share of action due to suspensions.
He hits both from the stripe.
That was
and
funny.
GA, as you said with Whiteside, his fiery attitude flared up a few times last season, and it hurt his team more than once in Miami.
No doubt, and it's something that he has got to work on. I mean, he's proven that he can be a big-time player in this league, but he can't have the mental lapses that get him tossed from games and hurt his team.
They grab their own miss. James dishes to Irving.
Bow.
And the assist goes to LeBron. LeBron's got his 4th assist with that last one here tonight. The Heat leading by 3. Dragic kicks to Whiteside. Pass to Day.
Nope.
Misses the layup.
He just has not been able to get into that groove yet, guys. But as a whole, it hasn't affected them too much.
And for Kyrie Irving, it had been a long time coming. Last season, he finally played in his first postseason with the Cavs. And up until the unfortunate injury, he certainly made the most of it.
Catching up on the changes for Toronto. Mozgov, he's checked in for Thompson. Fry comes in for Kevin Love. Amon Shumpert's checked in for James. And it's Matthew Dellavedova in for Smith.
Another bucket in the paint. That's something they just have not been able to stop today.
Yeah, the defense is all about disrupting timing and spacing, and what they've got going right now is not getting it done.
And think again about the playoffs last year, Clark. They weren't all sunshine and roses for Irving. He had to play through a tough leg injury in the conference semifinals, and of course the injury in the finals, the fractured kneecap, and he was gone.
Yeah, that was really painful to watch, seeing him go out for the rest of the playoffs with that fractured kneecap and a freak injury, but he'll grow from it and be better.
And one thing we know about Justice Winslow, he is great on the big stage. He was amazing in the tournament for Duke a season ago. Got better and better as he helped his school capture the national championship.
Dragic kicks to Johnson.
I'm trying to do that.
With Winslow, it's all about improvement and being great on the big stage. I think he can do that. Greg, you talked about what he did in the national championship run. Clark, he was a fantastic foundation to begin with.
Yeah, you know what? He's not got many holes in his game. Solid at the defensive end, can score a lot of ways, puts his hands on winning at both ends of the floor.
And I feel like there's a reason Joe Johnson has gotten a number of astronomical contracts. It's because he does everything for you. He's like one of those items you buy that touts everything you need, nothing you don't. Well, to me, that's Joe Johnson.
Dellavedova, the pass to Irving. Out to Shumpert from the arc. Miami grabs the miss.
A slight advantage for them in the rebound department, but that oftentimes is all it takes.
Especially, Greg, when you're scoring the ball at a decent clip the way they have. I mean, they've done exactly what's necessary to take the lead.
Clark, when you take a look at Joe Johnson, and if you were on a good team, a team that was contending for a championship, where ideally would you like him to be? Where would you slot him?
I'd put him in that first or second scoring role because he's so good and scores so effortlessly. And at some point, I think he's going to hoist that Larry O'Brien trophy.
Oh, no. Not the guy you want to put on the line, Kevin. He's an ATM from the free throw line.
And one of Goran Dragic's greatest traits, Greg, excelling in the open court. High energy point guard, a lot like you, speed to burn, very smart guy, coveted by many.
He really is. And Kevin, he transitions from defense to offense as quickly as anyone in the league, a la Tony Parker, except he's also equally adept at facilitating for others and spotting up for the three, or just taking it to the rack himself.
Mozgov's shot is off. Now 8 seconds separating the two clocks. And here's the fast break. Winslow's leading the way.
Easy to see who's going to win that race.
Yeah, early offense is often easy offense. Excellent work that time.
Toronto calls timeout.
They're sending guys to the line way more than they should here. They need to play good position defense and avoid the reach-in sloppy fouls.
And Toronto will go for a different look here. Tristan Thompson, he's checked in for Mozgov. Love comes in for Channing Frye. James checked in for Shumpert. And J.R. Smith subbed in for Matthew Dellavedova. Shot is good, and the Heat's lead is
my life is a whole lot better.
6 on the basket from James. For Miami, they've gone better than
the whole
53% before since halftime. Shooting 8 of 15. And there's the call on Kyrie Irving. So that will be his second foul of the game. We're in the bonus, and we'll go to the line to shoot 2. The first one falls for him. He's off on the second. Jacks up a 3. Dragic with some nice D. From deep. That misses. Would have counted had it gone in. And that does it for the third quarter. Both teams clicking offensively as we approach the fourth quarter. Well, welcome back as we get set to start the fourth. The Heat leading by 7. We've got J.R. Smith. LeBron James is out there with Kevin Love. Then there's Tristan Thompson, and it's Irving in at the 1. So that's the 5 in the game for Toronto.
You know, of the last 6 baskets, 5 have come on the interior. This is major smash mouth basketball, guys.
All about imposing your will offensively, getting
now
exactly
I gotta make
the looks their coach drew up.
I need 3 threes.
Dragic with it, picked up by Thompson. Whiteside,
I need 3 threes.
and he dunks it down.
And he's been the catalyst all game long. Love how he's distributing the basketball.
No doubt about it, Greg. I mean, when the offense runs through him, it's really smooth.
And it's Dragic off the drive. No good. Good D by Thompson.
The inside just a bit too congested for him to get the usual shot he would have with rhythm.
James has a 2-pointer. That falls. Great assist by Love. And that's 20 points for LeBron.
Really just a tremendous day for him. And if you remember, he was just as good in their last game.
Dragic dishes the Bosh. He kicks it to Richardson. Open shot. Dragic finds himself wide open and drills it. Dragic has got the lead up to 11 now for Miami.
I've gotten this far.
Toronto shooting at a decent 44% clip here. And here's LeBron outside, and he gets it to go. James has got 5 points in the quarter.
Efficiency has been the hallmark right now down the stretch. He is making the most of his opportunity. And for Kevin Love last season, he didn't want to be called a stretch 4, but the numbers suggest he was exactly that. Nearly 1 out of every 2 shots he took was from 3, a much higher ratio than at any other time in his career.
Timeout called the Heat. As Greg was talking about Clark back to Love, it wasn't his choice to camp out from 3 last year. It was designed that way to create operating space for both LeBron and Kyrie.
Yeah, and you think about it, it's hard to ask a successful post player not to play to his strengths, but Love made the sacrifice, and I don't think he gets enough credit for that, Kevin.
Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Guys, over that last break, I listened to Eric Spoelstra address his team. He said we are this close to finishing them off, but the job is not done yet, and I don't want to see any let-up out there. We'll see how well his point got across, guys.
And it's off the back rim, no good. Miami leading by 8. Outside Dragic. That's the 6th make from the field. He's taken 9 shots and missed but 3.
And he's shaking off that slow start, giving them a boost here.
Because it's typical certainty.
For 3, Love. And it's Whiteside with the rebound. Whiteside's got rebound number 8 here tonight in the game.
But still, eventually you got to feel like he'll start knocking those down again.
It's Richardson on the wing. Rebound by Smith.
Most of the time, that shot will go down. Boy, the defenders have to make sure they tag him.
Irving kicks to Smith. Releases. Shot is good, and the Heat's lead is cut down to just 8 points with the bucket from Irving. For Miami, they've gotten 4 of their 6 shots to fall so far here in the 4th. A pretty nice efficiency there. Shots good by Bosch.
And that's sort of been the story here today, hasn't it?
And Toronto has possession. On the wing, Irving pulls it up. And out of bounds as the Heat gain possession. Third minute of action now gone here in the 4th. Right side a screen. Dragic with it. Guarded now by Irving. Right side a screen on Irving. To the paint. Can't get it to go. Excellent D there from Mozgov. Toronto trails by 11. Irving kicks to Smith. And it's sent back by Bosch. And so the ball out of bounds. Bosch touched it last. And Toronto making a change here. Dellavedova's checked in.
Coming onto the floor for your Toronto team.
LeBron against Dang. James. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2. They get Luol Deng.
What a game for LeBron. He has 23 points. And talk about the 3 ball for him. Wow. Unbelievable from long distance.
Clark, there have been some fireworks from deep today. Boy, he is just dangerous out there.
Thompson, he's checked in for Toronto. Sends down low. It's deflected. Point line, it's Love. It's good. The assist that time from Smith. Smith's got his 7th assist.
I barely made that. That's why I reacted like that.
Leading by 7.
Oh man, he tried to stir up time.
Dragic. That's going to be over and back.
Yeah, appreciate that.
For the line that time.
He got scared a little bit.
Toronto with the ball. From deep, James.
Why they tell me to shoot?
With the rebound.
I know y'all heard it.
Richardson's got his 3rd rebound on the night. Dragic gets the bucket. Dragic has got 17 now, just in the 2nd half.
Guys, his consistency in terms of shooting has really helped them seize control.
LeBron dishes to Dellavedova. A 3 ball. That's in, and the Miami lead is cut down to just 6 points with the basket from James.
And good passing, setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
Time-dropping delights is what I call it.
That was a nice pass. I will give you that one.
Yep, he was on the money, that's no doubt.
He's their go-to guy, and when he shoots the ball like he has today, that's what the scoreboard usually looks like.
Out to Thompson. The dish now to Smith. Pass to Dellavedova. And it's off from 3-point range. The Heat leading by 8. Inside, it's tipped and stolen by LeBron. Right at the free throw line. Dellavedova, that's good.
I'm trying to win this thing, bro.
107 left in the 4th quarter. Outside Dang. Shoots the 3. No luck. And Toronto will go the other way with it.
Time definitely not on their side.
They need a very quick bucket, a real quick one.
Near the 3-point line, it's Love. No good. Good work defensively by Whiteside. And the pass to Richardson.
So everybody can start jumping.
And slammed in by Whiteside.
And really, I like the fact that even with the big lead, they never coasted.
To me, that's a sign of a really good team, Greg, because you should always be playing against the game and yourself. I know there's an opponent out there, but when you have a lead, it's all about continuing to execute. Do what you do and stay true to that. And I like that aggressiveness and full speed ahead
I ain't gonna let it be beat
kind
by
of
10,
attack
though.
that they have.
I think it's safe to say this baby's over.
Yeah, that's fairly obvious. I'd say that's a really good assumption on your part.
And Miami can just let the clock run down here. Outside Bosch. And Tristan Thompson gets the whistle that time. That will get him his 4th foul of the game.
That's his 4th personal foul. Substitution on the court.
Johnson kicks to Stoudemire. Johnson, the pass to Winslow. And so Miami takes this one by a big margin. This was a very strong showing for him, Greg. Not necessarily a runaway win, but one they'll feel very good about.
And let's face it, anytime you can go on the road and win in the fashion they did, you have to feel good about it. Really an outstanding effort all the way around.
And now we'll send it down to Doris Burke, who's standing by courtside.
Highly unexpected.
Well, Joe, congratulations on this win. This was a game where we saw plenty of great sequences, some nice runs put together. What changes for the team out on the floor when you guys start rolling like we witnessed here tonight?
We just picked up our energy and effort.
You're not saying that for
get some stops, got out in transition.
My cheeks so big, bro.
And it just kind of got contagious.
Well, this was fun for us to watch, Joe. Thanks for the time, guys.
All right, Doris, great job. Thanks so much. And that'll do it, folks.
This is